Pumpkin pie is the best
Welcome
holiday
back to
dessert. No one
the-
can convince me otherwise.
All right. We'll leave that in the show. Welcome to the Spread Picks. We're back. Week 14 was a very interesting one. Chris, do your victory lap. You had the best score of all of us.
Let's go.
Me
Let's
and Jason
go.
were 4-9. Absolutely horrendous. Peter was 6-7. We're moving on to week 15.
Oh, dude,
We're gonna
Alec.
rapid fire.
I mean,
here.
Chris has been all doom and gloom this year, but look at this. Chris is starting to climb up. He's only 5 games behind you now.
I mean, anything can happen, dude. It's clear. It's clear to me. The betting market's open and my picks have gone down. But let's see. The next game, or the first game, will be San Francisco at Seattle. San Francisco is a 3.5-point favorite. San Francisco looks good enough still, and I know they're going to be down Debo, but I'm going to go with them. So picking San Francisco.
Man, how can you pick against Mr. Irrelevant himself, Brock Purdy, and this San Francisco defense? Seattle has struggling the past few weeks, and San Francisco just continues to improve. Definitely taking San Francisco.
Yeah, I feel like Seattle's got to turn things around at some point, but San Francisco's really hot right now. Give me Mr. Irrelevant, San Francisco for me. All right, next up we've got Indianapolis and Minnesota. This is the first of the slate of Saturday games this year. So yeah, this will be a good one. Minnesota coming off a crazy loss against Detroit, game that I don't think many people had them picked, but they are favored by 4 in this matchup. I like them to bounce back in this one, so I'm going to go with Minnesota.
I'm also going to go with Minnesota. I don't know if I'm going to pick Indianapolis the rest of the year.
Yeah, Minnesota, another team like Seattle that's going through a little bit of some struggles right now relative to where they've been all year. But, I mean, Indianapolis is just a mess. And then Baltimore. We already gave you these picks. Cleveland is favored, but we think Baltimore wins. So we're all in agreement through 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
Might as well go on to the next one, Alec.
Yeah. Miami at Buffalo. Buffalo is a 7-point favorite. This is really tough, but I'm going to go with Jason's logic that Miami might be figured out and that this is not the week for them to be unfigured out. I'll go with Buffalo. They want some redemption.
Yeah, not only we've seen Miami had difficulty traveling to the West Coast. Now they're going to have to travel up to the cold. That weather advantage works both ways, and Buffalo has looked really good the past few weeks. I'll take the Bills.
Interesting. I don't know. I think just to be contrarian here, maybe get my rankings up a little bit. I think I might try to go Miami here. I think that they could cover that spread. It is a divisional game, and I know there was something in there about Miami using heaters and on the West Coast or something in 50-degree weather, but I'm going to say that's a little overblown that they make it a close game.
I had not seen that.
I'll go Miami.
That is hilarious if true.
Yeah. All right, next up we've got Philadelphia at Chicago. Philadelphia favored by 9. I like what Chicago's doing, but Philly's rolling. I'm going to pick them here.
I don't know. I'm going to go Chicago to cover. I think they might make it like an 8-point game.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields, he's really looked great, and he was good last week, even with that injury. But Philly has reinvigorated their offense, which was kind of in neutral since that loss to Washington. I think they can win by 2 touchdowns here. All right, now we have a really interesting matchup here. Dallas, fresh off almost losing to the Houston Texans, are going to travel to Jacksonville, who over the past 3 weeks squeaked by the Ravens, got destroyed by Detroit, and then destroyed Tennessee. So with Trevor Lawrence playing through an injured toe. So who knows what we're going to get from Jacksonville or Dallas really in this game. Dallas is favored by 4. I'm actually going to take the home team here to at least cover. I don't know. Dallas is really anything could happen in this game, so I think I'm just going to go with the home team.
Yeah, really tough matchup as well. I'll pick Dallas here just for the fact of I think Pollard is continuing to kind of go hot, and I think he might be able to do some damage against Jacksonville in this matchup.
Man, I don't even know which way to go. I would not want to bet this one, and now I have to break the tie between the two of us. Wish I knew what Jason was doing. Dallas. Next up is KC at Houston. KC is a 14-point favorite. Houston busting these big spreads. This is yet again the biggest spread on the slate, and honestly by a huge margin. So the question is, do we think they can do it again? I'm going to say no. KC.
Yeah, I have not watched any of the highlights from those two games, so I can't tell you how Houston is doing it. So it's probably not a great way to be making this pick. But I will say I have watched Kansas City the past 2 weeks and not terribly thrilled with what I'm seeing on their defense. Kansas City will probably – I'll say the same thing I said last week with the Kansas City-Denver game. Kansas City will win, but I don't think they'll be able to cover.
You want to have your Houston pick here, Peter, right?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
Well, thanks for catching me that, because you guys didn't catch me when I did that weeks ago with that Tampa Bay Atlanta game.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I really hate these large spreads. I mean, like, yeah, Houston was competitive in that game. I think that they can close it. I will say KC, I think, is a lot more scary to me than Dallas is, but I still think Houston can kind of make this close if they can lean on Pierce and maybe get another resurgence from Chris Moore. Next up, we've got Detroit at the Jets. Jets favored by 1. This one, I think, is a really interesting matchup because for the whole season, Detroit was really doing nothing, and they've really come on the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna go the Jets here, though. I really like what we've been seeing from Garrett Wilson the last couple of weeks, and Mike White's been playing pretty good. I'm gonna say that they can pull this game out.
This is a super tough one. I'm going to go with Detroit. I think they're hot, and I also think that they got the right combination of health going their way.
Yeah, this is a tough one. Could be a very interesting matchup between two of the league's high draft picks. We saw Jameson Williams had his first touchdown reception in the NFL last week. It was his only reception of the game, but still. I think that I'm going to go with the Jets, but I wouldn't be shocked at all if the Lions are able to pull it off. They have had road woes this season, but they may have shaken them off against the Giants. Still think it's not enough for me to not pick the Jets here, but this is going to be a very interesting game. And yet again, here's another interesting matchup. Pittsburgh traveling to Carolina. Carolina, who actually does have new life on the season. I apologize for last week saying that this team looked like a team that was just going to pack it in because they had no hopes at all for this season because the NFC South is so bad. This team is very firmly in the NFC playoff hunt. They are, what are they, a game back from Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay just got blanked by San Francisco. So I think they're going to go all out here, and I'll take Carolina here. I think they are smelling blood with where the Bucs are and think they might be able to grab a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think I'll pick Carolina as well. Obviously, the injury to Pickett I think is going to be a big thing. Carolina's defense is playing pretty well, so I think that they can do a bit of damage to Pittsburgh offense under Mitch Trubisky. So Carolina.
This is really tough. I'm going to go with the home team as well, Carolina. I just honestly think that they are losing any chance of finding a quarterback and playing a little too well this year. So let's see what happens.
Well, my
Atlanta
dynasty dice roll of Corral will appreciate that.
I bet. Atlanta at New Orleans. New Orleans, 4.5-point favorite. First Desmond Ridder game. I don't know. Atlanta. Why not?
Yeah, I like Atlanta here simply because the Falcons are coming off a bye. They had that bye week to get Ridder ready to play. I'll admit I wasn't terribly impressed with Ridder's draft profile, but New Orleans has been struggling this year, and maybe just his playing style, not having NFL film on him, will be enough to at least prevent the Saints from covering here.
Man, I thought it was going to be contrarian by picking Atlanta, but now we're just all it's a sweep. So, but no, I'm going to give it to Ritter. New Orleans doesn't have any game film on him, so could surprise people.
And those rookie quarterbacks that come in and just run, that's a huge advantage there. If they can't pass it, they just run.
That's true. All right, next up we've got New England at Vegas. New England favored by 1. I don't know how it's 1. I would favor New England all the way. I don't know what's up with Vegas outside of Josh Jacobs. New England.
I don't know if it's that simple. But yeah, I'm going to go Vegas. Even though it's kind of a pick 'em, I just think New England's just so conservative on offense. I know Vegas is terrible and they only let you down, but we'll see.
I mean, I'm going to say the same thing that I said last week, although San Francisco ended up scoring way more points than I thought they would. A 9-0 win still covers. I'll take New England because Vegas is just lost, and I don't see... I'm going to stop saying this because this will be the third time in a row I've said a team is down and out, and they're probably going to pack it in for the season. But, man, how they lost against the Rams was just awful. I don't know how McDaniels can rein in the locker room after that on top of everything that's happened this year with them.
Yeah.
All right, so next up, another game that's going to be interesting to pick. Arizona at Denver. Kyler Murray is out for the year after getting injured early in Monday Night Football game against the Patriots. Russell Wilson left the Kansas City-Denver game with a concussion, so we're not sure his status for this game. I'm going to take Denver here regardless of who's at quarterback, simply because of their defense. I think their defense will be enough to bottle in a Colt McCoy offense. Denver wins, 12-7. Who knows?
I forgot that Colt was playing over Trace. I was looking forward to a Trace Hollywood connection.
He might be. I mean, we know Murray's not there, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely interesting. Yeah, with both teams not having their starting quarterback. Guess I'll give it to Denver just because their defense is way better than Arizona's, but it wouldn't surprise me if they brought it out too.
Peter finally gets his ask of Ripon coming off of the best game that Russell's had all year, so it's kind of ironic. Injury did it, not poor performance. So I'm going to go to Denver, best defense in this matchup, so that's what wins it for me. Cincinnati at Tampa Bay. Cincinnati is a 3.5-point favorite. Doesn't feel like enough. Give me Cincinnati. I think they're good, and Tampa Bay not so much.
Easy money, Cincy. You don't need an explanation.
Maybe this should maybe be my bet. Remember I was asking what's I have a free bet from DraftKings for the refer a friend. I need a bet because it's like 200 on one thing.
You know what? That might not be a bad idea because knowing what happens with that, I'm sure your luck would be that something crazy takes place, whether weather-wise or whatever, and Tampa wins by 7, and then we're a game ahead of Cincinnati, assuming we beat the Browns.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, I get a double happy. I'll probably do Cincinnati money line just to be a little more conservative though with it.
Okay, well with all that, I'm gonna go Tampa because I want them. I want them to win.
Chris is killing me.
No, I mean the only thing that kind of I have new to bring. So is it Trey Hendrickson has some sort of wrist injury, but we're not sure of his availability for this game. Give me some Rashad White. give me Tampa to try and make this game close and at least keep it within a field goal, if not win this game. I want it to happen. So, all right, next up we've got Tennessee at the Chargers. Chargers with a really crazy win against Miami last week. Kind of throwing things for a loop on that. I guess I'll take the Chargers again. It feels really weird because they're such an up and down team, but Tennessee also coming off a really weird loss to Jacksonville. I'll take the Chargers.
Man. Another difficult one. Never get the Chargers on the right week. I'm going to say today is the right week. Also going with the Chargers.
I can never pick the Chargers. I cannot do it. That being said, Tennessee, the past couple weeks have really made you question more so than we've been, what direction this team is going. That said, the X factor here might be just hand the rock off to Derrick Henry. We know that the Chargers are awful on run defense. I'll take Tennessee to win this with just old-fashioned Derrick Henry magic. All right, next up we have a rematch of a game from a few weeks ago, the Giants at Washington, which ended in a tie last time these two teams played. Yeah, this is a tough one. Washington was looking really good there, but then they, like I said, they couldn't pull out that game, a game I thought they would be able to pull out. And actually, they were on bye, right, last week? So this is the first game they'll be just right up against this team, just like what Cleveland was for us last year. Giants got destroyed by Philly last week. I'll take Washington coming out off the bye. That 4.5 spread is a bit much, but I wouldn't take it if they weren't coming off the bye. But since they are, I'll take them to cover that.
Yeah, certainly this is a game. I think if the Giants lose it, I mean they have a lot of division losses at this point, so their wild card spot is really looking thinner and thinner at this point. I'll say that the Giants can cover just because it was close last time. I don't know if they'll win this one, though.
I feel similar. Divisional. Give me the Giants to cover. Maybe Saquon's feeling a little bit better. He can do something in this game. And then the last game, the Monday night game, the Rams at Green Bay. Green Bay is favored by 7 points. Baker Mayfield wants to make them, not cover. But I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers over Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, I think that the Rams caught the Raiders off guard. Another instance of a team thinking a game was over at halftime. There was props at Baker Mayfield, but there was no reason that the Rams should have been able to do that. I'll take Green Bay.
You know what? Merely to try to get my rankings up, I'm going to go Rams. I don't know. I think maybe this might be the right team for Baker. Who knows?
I think I got to make a pact with you, Peter, that we got to differentiate whenever Chris goes last, because he's always trying to get his ranks up.
Well, at least
it's a reasonable pick.
At least the cadence that we've got here helps that out a bit.
Yeah.
Someone else always leading.
Well, before we wrap up the show, I do want to point out we got all these spreads from DraftKings, and DraftKings VIP partnered with us to do a free pick'em pool. And all you have to do is pick. There's 9 questions, like who's going to cover the over/under. We said Baltimore here, so there you go. And then there's also the spread and who's going to get more catches, yardage totals between 2 players, things like that. It's a lot of fun, totally free. And the winner will get $500, and there's a total of $1,000 in prizes. So make sure to check it out. Share the link with friends. It's in the description of this video. And with that, good luck this week, and we'll see you next week.